Yeah.
Pretty good stuff? Yeah, so awesome. Well, today we are going to be, like I said earlier, talking about networking. Networking is very, very important. It's not what you know, it's who you know, right? And us as real estate agents, it pays to network, and networking is everything. And this is not meant to like reinvent the wheel by any means. This is very straightforward. I don't want to overwhelm you. This is meant to be very basic, very simple. If anything, it's a reminder of things that we already know and or already should be doing. Okay, so how many in this room have went to any type of networking event in the last couple weeks? I actually want to see everyone's hands raised because we're going to talk about networking not just professionally, but then also personally. And someone mentioned this earlier. I mentioned my turkey figure, but Thanksgiving, is that kind of a networking event? Can we professionally help any of the people that came over that might be the best ringtone I've ever heard in any class I've ever been. Just make sure that once January 1st hits, that you change it back to your rap songs or whatever. Where was I at? Okay, so no, and that's the one thing is I really want to open your mind. Networking is not just professional networking events like BNI groups, breakfast groups. We're always networking, right? We're always in front of somebody that could buy or sell. And so that's what we're going to focus on. Has anyone been able to track back this year how many transactions they've gotten from networking? Like at least, has anyone tracked back business yet? And it's okay if you haven't because we're not.
Does social networking count?
Social networking is part of our online social media lead generation pillar, but I do have a little bit of social networking in here. So I don't want to say no, and I don't want to say officially. I do actually want to say no because that's already a solid lead generation pillar for you, Cameron, and for a lot of us in this room. But no, so that does not count.
That's fine.
Make that decision.
Clarified.
Okay, so this is awesome then. I see a lot of potential because if I'm surveying the room like nobody in this room can, off the top of their head or in their spreadsheets, track back any sales that they've had from any type of networking event. I'm pretty excited because I'm looking at this room and I think everyone's doing pretty well. And I know some of us are newer agents, but you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And I bet you 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months from now, if we do these things, I will look you guys all in the eye. I'll handshake. I'll bet you lunch, coffee, cocktail that you'll have at least one deal, especially Katie over. She's very easy to make friends.
I just like cocktails.
Yeah.
That's what you're really
But no, I'm serious. That's how excited and passionate I am about what we're going to talk about. So it's a great time to start networking for those of you that aren't officially doing it. And the reason why it is because we're still kind of in the early part of the holiday season, right? So when you think about networking, think about all the Christmas events that you're going to go to. Your side, your significant other side, your in-laws, all those fun things. Also think about holiday season as a great way to do some awesome fun holiday marketing. I can only imagine what Holly's going to do with the word holly and holiday marketing. So not just with holiday cards. So we do have time for us last minute, marketers. You still have time to either Photoshop yourself onto a holiday card or design one. It doesn't have to, if you don't have a baby coming due like Cameron and you don't think you have the cutest family picture, just happy holidays, or Santa's always got a Rudolph or whatever. So great time to do that. But then also one of the best things about holidays is checking in on people. Unfortunately, the holidays are also known to be kind of a sad, depressing time for some people. Those that don't have friends or lost loved ones. So just the art that we've talked about, the art of the check-in, use that as well to reach out and touch your sphere of influence. But another thing too is the cool thing about this holiday season, a lot of agents, and this is one of the things that I've mentioned in Q4 classes up until today, is it's a great time to really hunker down and work hard, outwork your competition, plant the seeds, and set appointments for January. So that's the name of the game. The goal today is December 2nd, and we're going to do all those things with a lot of things that we're going to talk about today. So step one with networking is finding a network group. How many in here regularly go to a BNI? And keep your hands up, please. A BNI group? Kinda, Katie,
I
kinda?
just joined one.
Just
I don't
joined
know
one?
If it's considered a BNI.
Okay, sure. A BNI, Business Networking International. It's an official group that organizes networking groups for people. Chamber, how many of you guys belong to a chamber? Awesome. Which chamber? I know Urbandale, right? Ashley?
Ankeny.
Ankeny, awesome.
West Des Moines.
West Des Moines, oh, we've got great representation. Anyone in the Windsor Heights chamber?
I was looking into it.
Maybe not yet, but maybe Shane? Professional networks. Anyone belong to any professional networks? Ardor? Ooh, that sounds fun. That sounds very fun. Tony?
It's called YPC, Young Professionals Connection.
Yeah, that's awesome. When I was a YPC, a young professional, I was once a part of that group too. So that's step one into networking is find a group to join. And we're going to have more ideas for other groups, but just to kind of plant some seeds. If you're a mom, join a mom group. If you're a dad, start a dad bod group. If you love golf, you love art and art. Is that anything to do with art and wine?
Art Center.
Art Center, okay. Come on in, Rachel.
Hi,
Introduce yourself.
I'm Rachel. Is there a sign seating?
Nope, you can sit wherever you want. Hobbies. Anyone have any fun hobbies that they've made money off of? Katie?
Play slow pitch softball.
And you've made some money by networking with some friends?
Yep.
Awesome.
Does it count like my kids' hobbies, like
Yeah.
networking with the parents there?
Yeah, absolutely. That totally counts. Any more kids are more than
Yeah.
hobbies, right? I mean,
It's
between
my
softball and soccer and dance and
That's my hat.
gymnastics, yeah.
Golfing.
Golfing, awesome. I was at a event supporting one of our agents, Tony Schubert. And you guys know Tony? You guys know he makes a really, really awesome mead beer, which is beer made out of honey. And so he invited me down to the Botanical Center, and there was an event, and I got to meet some of his fellow brew friends. And he pulled me to the side, and we were chatting, and he's like, "I've sold a house of this person, that person, this person, that person, that person." Literally, and they were all right there congregating, hanging out. And I just looked at him with a big old smile. I'm like, "Tony, that is so awesome." So you're telling me you make beer, and you get to write it off, and you've sold 4 or 5 houses, and those were all this year. One was a custom that he did with a very, very reputable builder, and it was a nice price tag on it too. So think about those things. Anyone ever go on Facebook and look at all the different events that are available on Facebook? Cameron, shaking your head.
Mhm.
Any examples that you want to share with everyone in the room?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that comes up out there.
Yeah.
There's always shopping.
Yep. There's a ton of shopping, but outside of the shopping, because that always fills up my feed too, I'm going to challenge you guys to go on Facebook and go. There's an events tab or a calendar tab, and there's even a section for networking, and you'll be able to find all kinds of different activities that are put on, not by other agents, and sometimes when you look at who's going to them, there are like 0 real estate agents that are attending these events. But literally, I was on earlier today, and I saw at least a dozen events that I would personally love to go if I had, time and energy, and if I was officially trying to, drum up some business. But definitely go and check those out.
There's also an app called Meetup.
Yes, thank you.
And I've done that. Yeah.
There's one called Meet Up and Meet Me. You want to tell the group about?
Meetup is, you join it, it doesn't cost you anything, and it'll kind of do a little questionnaire, what your likes and don't likes, and they'll match you to groups that get together. They go from little small groups to big things. Some of them are professional, some of them are strictly social. What I find really neat, divorce is there is a lot of divorce support groups in there, stuff like that. So Meetup.
Yeah.
What was that? What is that, an app? You said that's an app or something?
It's an app that you download on your phone,
Okay.
and then there's several. The one I used to go to all the time fizzled out, so they're not always good. but you never know until you try it.
Yeah. Yeah. How many in this room, I mean, this is just more of a general question. How many in this room, you're like just full with, you got 5,000 friends on Facebook. You look at your calendar on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and you're just full with birthday parties and get-togethers and things like that. I think I'm pretty popular, and I know there are some Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. I look at my wife, I'm like, wait, we have nothing going on. We have no birthday parties. We have no events with neighbors. We have no realtor friend birthday parties going around in a limo, nothing like that at all. And so it's one of those things where I feel there is so many opportunities for all of us to do what I'm going to be talking about. So group pages, anyone belong to a certain group on Facebook? Jen, which one do you belong to?
It's called Amazing Women. It's a women's cancer group.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Rachel?
Moms groups.
Yeah. How many different moms groups are there in Des Moines?
Too many.
I'm on 2. Yeah, I'm on 2.
You're on two?
Yeah.
And any other real estate agents in your group?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
a lot.
So maybe don't join those ones. Find
Yeah.
another one to join or start.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Post.
But again, ways to find ways to meet new people, because that, like I said earlier, is not what we know, it's who we know in this real estate business. How many of you have it time blocked or as a goal to join or go to one networking event a week? It's a goal? A month? At least a month? For those that didn't raise your hand, at least twice a week? So I'm
Just one month.
gonna make a challenge to you guys back to, there's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know you guys need to sleep and eat and hang out with your close loved ones, but try to put something on your calendar, at least one a week. Like I said, go to Facebook events, create a group, join a group, create a hobby, whatever. But if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Thanks, Tony. Thanks. Is this the first time, Tony, you've been in one of my classes?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've said that a few times, right, Michelle? If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Okay. And then, so set a goal to go. I want everyone to go to at least one networking event per week or bi-weekly. I'll be easy on you, but the easier I am on you and the easier you are on yourselves, then the harder business is, right? Right, Brandy, Holly? Okay. Then I also want you guys to set a goal. I want you guys to set a goal of how many people you want to meet a year. And for the ambitious ones in this room, which almost all of you guys I know are way ambitious, try to meet at least 50 to 100 people a year. It's definitely doable. Everywhere I go, again, I think I'm pretty popular, but everywhere I go, I look around and I even will mention this to Joy. I'm like, you know what? We're at Costco and I know nobody. We're at Flick's Brewery, even though we know 200 of our closest real estate agent and their families, but I don't know. And outside of that, I don't know anybody. I mean, there's just so many people in our community that we don't know. So try to make it a point of meeting at least 50 to 100 new people a year. I'm gonna say this later too, but before I forget, everybody that you meet knows at least 200 people, right? So by adding that one person and maybe they become an A in your sphere of influence or even a B in your sphere of influence, that's another potential sale that you can add to your goals. This is one thing, I hear lots of excuses. I give myself a lot of excuses. Why aren't we networking? Oh, because we have too many other things going on with our family, our kids. Well, turn these networking events into opportunities to include your families. I know that, and actually it's pretty easy for Cameron, right? Because with Emily being in real estate, but I definitely know that I see Ryan Harms a lot at the networking events, right, Rachel? I mean, that's okay. So, and Grayson too. So what I'm saying is not just feeling isolated, and leaving your spouse at home or leaving your kids at home, but then taking them to them. So I'm going to put you back on the spot. If you were just to guess a ratio of all the networking, and Rachel goes a lot. I mean, Rachel is a social butterfly. So out of all the networking, which is a good thing, out of all the networking events that you go to, what percentage do you feel Ryan and Grayson go to? At least 10, right? At least 10%?
Oh, yeah. Ryan probably goes to half with me.
Yeah. And is there some benefits other than having him pick up the bill and drive you there? Or?
I'm not good with remembering names and faces,
Mhm.
but he will like meet you once. And like, so I always feel like he's my like assistant. He's like, hey, you know this person, you better know that.
Yeah. Anyone else have that benefit or that luxury of having someone to go with? I know Joy's like that too. And then sometimes Joy will have better, deeper conversations with the people I just met than I do. And it actually kind of doubles us up to be able to not just solidify and strengthen that one relationship, but then I can, go to the next group of people and chat and gather. So don't feel like you're on your own when it comes to networking. It's a Wednesday night or it's a Friday night and you'd rather be with your family. Take them with you, invite them. And a lot of times, there's no limit unless you have to buy a ticket to, the event, which most of the events that I'm seeing, on Facebook or online are all free. This is one thing too, always be networking, even on the fly. How many people wait in line for things? At the bar, at the movies?
Coffee.
Car wash might be a little hard just because.
I thought you just said waiting in line. I'm paying.
Yeah.
It's just because I've been an hour, so I'm getting. Sorry. No, it's not for me. That's too stressful these days.
That's No. Hey, you know what? Actually, you actually gave me an idea of one way to network. If you're really, I always say time, energy, and money, right? So if you have an excess of money and you want to do some additional marketing and you look in your rearview mirror and you see something, that looks like someone I'd like to help buy or sell a home. What you could do is.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Is that creepy? Would that be creepy?
What?
Well, haven't you? I think you've posted on Facebook before when you're waiting in line for that Starbucks and you go to pay, and sometimes they pay for you, right? The car ahead of you pays for it. This is an idea. This is off the cuff thinking, okay? I'm trying to help Sherry out of how to network while you're in your car behind other people in their cars. And so I don't think it's creepy. I'll think this through because I will do it. I will do this, and if I get a sale, I'm going to tell you guys all about it. So what you can do though is because how many people in this room have gotten a coffee by the person ahead of you, right? Pretty much everyone, right? And so to pay it forward, then you in turn feel obligated, right, to buy coffee for the person behind you, and you wave. And they don't even know what's going on until they go up to the thing, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I've said that before, right, Michelle, in lots of classes. So why not say, hey, this I'm going to pay for the drink behind me. And by the way, this is my card. Would you mind? Here's a few of my cards. Would you mind give them my card and tell them if
It's
they're.
gonna be a realtor.
Yeah.
No. That's why you look in the rearview mirror and you're like, do I know that person? Have I ever seen their picture or their business card? And then the number one way to know it's not a realtor is to look at the license plate. I think. No, I'm joking.
Everybody.
1 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 100 has a sold. What's the? Yeah. Who does? Jason Stuyvesant has one too, right? I probably know like 10 agents in our company that have personalized license plates. But anyways, I'm trying to help Sherry out, so give me a break. So network even when you're in line. You're waiting in line and the person in front of you, sometimes you just have like this awkward silence, right? Like if I didn't know Shane and he's like standing right in front of me and we're just waiting forever, right? We're waiting for coffee, we're waiting to get a beer at the bar or whatever. Why not? What's the harm in saying, hey, how you doing? Breaking the ice with them, chatting with them, okay? So just think about networking on the fly. I mentioned this earlier, we get paid to be a social butterfly. One more goal I'm going to have you guys add, you can circle this or highlight it, make it a point to meet someone new every day. So that will actually demolish your 50 to 100 per year goal I gave you. Does anyone have any good stories of how they met, like Iran and Cindy?
A couple years ago on St. Patrick's Day, there was a divorce group that I still hang out with, and we all went out. One girl brought a blind date that she was talking to on the internet. She did not like him right from the get-go. I felt bad, and I sat by him, and I'm the only one to talk to him. Turned out he was going through divorce, had to sell his house and buy a new one, so I got it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how many minutes did you invest in that initial
It was
conversation?
about 30 minutes.
30 minutes? Yeah. Way cool. That's a great story. Anyone else have a story like that?
Not as successful as that.
Yeah. So you just never know. So other benefits of networking, getting new ideas and innovations. There's a lot of times you meet new people and they are in different industries, but that industry, they might be in sales and they sell freight, or they are financial advisors, or they're insurance agents. And it's always neat for me to learn about how other people market or sell in different industries. And especially if you've got nothing else to do and you're just kind of killing time, or you're at an event and you don't know anybody. If anything, I love as my family keeps expanding and nephews or nieces are bringing new people into the house. I love getting to know them, just because you just never know what that relationship's going to turn into. Okay. Finding inspiration. There's a lot of inspiration to be had with meeting new people and their stories and what their backgrounds are, but then also ultimately it's making new friends. Okay. So that's the overview. Now we're going to go into the networking top tips. So real quick, I'm going to hold you guys to this. How many, after my inspirational, motivational pep talk about going to a networking event, are going to do something this month? At least one. Hopefully everybody. At least two. At least three. At least four. Think about all the things that you have opportunities to go to. So this section here, it has been curated from a lot of people. So literally the last few weeks I've been working on this. I've been real pumped up about it. I even asked Michelle to ask her husband, who's like a master networker, right, Mike?
He's really good at it.
Yep. So Mike gave me a top 8 tips, and then I added, well, take a look, Michelle. Remember the list that you shared with me from Mike? And I think I
Yeah, I
tripled it.
noticed it was 5 pages we printed today.
Yeah.
For 1 hour.
Yeah, I know. I'm an overachiever. And so I added a lot. So this is some of the best of the best. Tony Robbins also as well, Buffini, Tom Ferry. So step 1 is prepping and overall. Check yourself in the mirror, right? You don't want to be that person that goes to the networking event and you got some food in your teeth, or you got something in your nose that shouldn't be there. Or if you're me, your hair's a little unruly. So check yourself in the mirror, check your breath in the mirror, check all kinds of things. Just, what do they say? You only get one chance to make a good first impression. So I remember people that I've met 5, 10, 15 years ago that, I think they just ran away from Count Dracula with the garlic that they had on the bread. So do that. Wear logo apparel so people recognize what you do.
I'm waiting for my stuff to come. Any day
Okay,
now.
I was gonna say, I'm
Chairs.
looking around the room and I see no real estate apparel. So put that on your to-do list. Put that on your Christmas wish list. Get some real estate branded apparel, right? It just makes conversation that much easier. Because the cool thing about when you wear your apparel, people will know. But then a lot of times people are wearing their business apparel. So all of a sudden that gives you an opportunity to talk to them. Even people I know. Jeff Stambro was at our movie thing this weekend, and he had this logo on his hat, and it led to us talking for about 3 to 5 minutes about something that I didn't know he was involved in. So it was pretty neat. Find where to sit or stand, not at the entrance unless you're the host or the hostess. It's always good to strategically put yourself in a good spot where people are going to congregate, they're going to linger. The reason why I say not at the entrance is because the number one goal when you get into a networking event is to find the food or the drinks, and they're just getting there. So they themselves want to kind of get acclimated to the environment, to the energy of the room. I love standing at the back of the room, not like the corner by any means, but just back where everyone's hanging out. So pick that. Do not focus on food and drinks unless you're really hungry, because if you're really hungry and you're hangry, then don't be hangry. No one likes to network with a hangry person. But then on the flip side, don't drink too much, because then also no one really likes to talk to the person that can barely stand up. And I think we've all seen those type of people at different realtor networking events, right? Unless it's KW, because KW doesn't let you drink at their events, right?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't look at anything he does.
Yeah.
No, he was talking about a certain girl.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I know.
I'm joking. I'm joking. You guys can boo me too. If you don't like my jokes, boo me. I'm in a good mood today. So, the cool thing about when you go to these events too, a lot of times you can do research on the invitation lists. If it's an event on Eventbrite, right? Michelle, you can see who's coming. If it's one of our concepts events, you can see who's coming. If it's a Facebook event, you can a lot of times see who's coming. So a lot of times what you can do is go and say, oh yeah, it's such and such. I know these 5 people are going. Awesome. So you can kind of take the time to reconnect with those individuals. But then also there are times where you don't know anyone, but you still want to go to this event, and then you can kind of like take a look at who's coming. And again, Rachel's looking at me thinking I'm being stalker creepy, but you can see who's got mutual friends, and then at least that way you can, you've got a head start on who you can meet. Does that make sense, Brandy? See, Brandy's agreeing with me over here. She's like,
Hopefully they look like a profile picture.
Yes.
yeah, if not, then that's a red flag. So research them online if possible, especially if you're going to a network event or you're invited to a real intimate group and you're one of the guests and there's a dinner table of 10 to 12 people. Google that person, check them out on Facebook, check them out on LinkedIn. I don't think in today's age, if they put it out on social media, I don't think it's overstepping personal boundaries to know just a little bit about them. That make sense? Cameron, does that sound good to you?
Sure.
Try not to interact with people that you know unless you have no one else to interact with. So I would say, like, if us as a group all went to a huge networking event at Hy-Vee Hall. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love to hang out and chit chat with you guys. But for everyone else in this room, I would definitely think that you guys should spread your wings and meet new people. Try not to just stay within your clique. Okay. What's that?
I said I was just at the Hy-Vee Hall the other weekend. Soccer.
Oh, sure.
Oh, can I tell them a story in soccer? Networking, right? So there's a new coach. This was 2 years ago. Hi, introduce. I'm in real estate. Blah blah blah. He goes, oh, you must know my cousin. Who's your cousin? He's a broker at Remax. He's out of the question now. His cousin.
But there's all kinds of other people, right? And that's the one thing we're going to talk about, how you can. That's one thing too, because there's always going to be that person that either is a real estate agent themselves, or their spouse is a real estate, or their sister, their brother, their mother, their best friend. And so we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So don't hard sell. That's the one thing too. This is an overall tip, is when you are meeting someone. If I were to meet Cindy for the first time at a networking event, the last thing I want to do is just kind of shove what I do down her throat, and next thing you know, she's running for the hills, right? So don't try to hard sell. Be fun, be happy, right? That's the one thing. We go to networking events, and the next thing you know, you're trying to run away from those people that are just Debbie or Daryl Downer. You can't get away from them fast enough. Bring all your cards. I shouldn't say all your cards. I typed that, but bring enough cards, right, to have available to hand out. Have them handy. Ask them for their cards. And then I always try to be organized when I'm handing out cards too. So I keep mine in my right pocket, and I keep the ones that I'm getting in my left pocket. So that way I'm not mixing them up. A lot of times too, I also like to keep other things that I need to grab, whether it's my keys or my cash or my phone or whatever, because do you ever see like people's cards laying on the ground? A lot of times that's just because they drop them out of their pocket. So be strategic with making sure you have your cards ready to hand out. On a side note too, from a personal branding standpoint, if you haven't had a chance to update your cards, definitely get with Madison. We've got some really great designs. If you haven't, I think someone mentioned pictures and not looking like your picture. If you need to take an updated picture, definitely do that, because if you're going to these networking events and there's 5 real estate agents that this person meets and they're in the market, sometimes that might be the differentiator, is the business card or the branding. I know I definitely think less of people that don't have nice professional, design, marketing collateral. Be genuine and interested, but not too interesting and quirky. So there are definitely times where people are just a little too interesting, right? You just try hard. to be someone that you're not. Obviously, we want you to be you and be genuine and be unique. But especially when you're meeting them for the first time, don't show 100% of the personality that you might have like with your best friends or for your family members only. Okay, and then also one thing to remember is it's quality over quantity, especially if you're going to be there for an hour, and especially if there's dozens and dozens of people there. If you connect with one or two people, that's awesome. Like I said, every one person that you're connecting with is going to hopefully tie it to their network of at least 200 plus. When you're at the networking event, try to find a group that you want to interact with. Again, not a group that you came with, not a group that you already know. I like to just kind of survey the scene and see who's having fun, because I like to join the fun groups if they're having a ball and cracking jokes, and I'm not saying go all in and try to be a part of that group. Maybe they're all coworkers or friends since childhood, so maybe that might be a tough group to break into, but really survey the scene and pick and choose who you're going to want to get into. Have you guys ever went into like a networking event and there's that group and you really want to get into that group, but you don't know how to kind of break into that circle? A couple different ways to do that. We call that I'm going to skip A first. I'm going to come back to A. Time your entry. So listen first and then ask a question related to the conversation. So that's one thing that I do. If you guys were all in a group chatting and laughing up, I definitely would just go in and listen and try to engage or listen, understand what the conversation's about. And then I try to, probably with Tamara, because she's, I know, very warm and welcoming, I'd probably smile at her. And then that's a good positive, body language, right? That they're giving you, like that one person or a few of them are acknowledging that you're kind of entering their circle and they're, ready to let you in. Okay. Another way to really break that ice too with that circle of individuals is to ask them a question, based on what they're talking about, or to kind of maybe chime in. But again, we don't want to be the individuals that just go in and talk too much or know exactly how to answer every specific question that they've been talking about. Another thing too is like if let's say you're at a networking event and you run into someone that but they're already in a group, but you want to make sure you say hi. Has anyone ever been in that awkward situation where that one person you want to go say hi to before you leave, they're just eye to eye, like chest to chest with somebody? We call that the touch and go. So what we could do is we can go up to Shane and say, "Hey Shane, sorry I'm interrupting your conversation. But I just wanted to say hi real quick before I took off. It was great to see you. Let's catch up one of these days." And quick, easy way to make a nice impression. Okay. Anyone, that makes sense? Anyone have anything to add to that? Any tips? Anyone have any success stories or epic fails on trying to get included into a group? Good. Okay. Number 3, meet everybody you can, but again, it's quality, not quantity. Rachel, you said Ryan was really good about this, remembering their names. Anyone have any good tips on how to remember someone's name?
I'm
Yeah.
terrible with names, but if I can get introduced to somebody and think about somebody I know that has that name,
Mm-hmm.
then I connect it. And that's how I try to remember names, the only way I can remember. It's just,
That's a great one. Anyone have any luck with that?
That's usually what I try to do.
Yeah.
Somehow you can picture the person, their face, and then will help you trigger it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And sometimes I do a play off of the name too. So if I say Brandy, oh, that's Bright Brandy, or Cameron, Campy Cameron. Sorry, don't hold that against
Most
Cameron.
people just go with tacos.
Yeah, but that's definitely a way to remember names, is just some sort of acronym, or if there's something that they're wearing that you can associate their name with. But no, like, it's one of the, like, if you are able to remember names and repeat names back, it's one of the most golden things that you can do when building a new relationship, is repeat their name back, because they'll remember it every time you see them. Like, wow, that Cameron guy, he remembered my name. That was so awesome. So definitely a challenge there. And also another way, have you guys ever been in like a group? You're like, oh shoot, I met her before, but I don't remember who she is. And so if Joy is with me, or if someone I know is with me, I'm like, hey, this is my wife, Joy. And then Joy and I kind of have this in sync moment where she's like, oh, I'm Joy, what's your name? And then she'll say, oh, hi Cindy, great to meet you. Yeah.
That's great.
Unfortunately, not all networking events are going to have name tags, right? But that's another way to try to remember a name, especially the name tag, just reading the name and reading like, if their company or their title is underneath their name tag. But just, that's the one thing. If you purely just try to remember a name with no other addition to that name, there's a high probability you're going to forget the name. But if you remember that name and the next time you see them at another networking event, like I said, it's going to be worth that memory. Okay. Number 4, ask them about themselves. This was Mike's suggestion. 2 ears, 1 mouth. I say this also a lot in class, right? We have 2 ears to listen, 1 mouth to talk. So a lot of times when you're getting to know people love to talk about themselves, right? I mean, you can ask them about themselves and where they're from, and ask them about their family. Oh, ask them about their kids. People love to talk about their kids. So that 2-to-1 ratio is actually a great ratio. So a lot of times I might ask a few questions or let them talk for a few minutes, and then I might have a 1 or 2 sentence response. I talk less than they do. That's one of my goals. Another thing is to try to find a commonality and connection. People naturally like those that they're similar to. So if you find out that you're from that same part of Iowa or that same hometown, or you went to the same school, or you go to the same church, or whatever that situation is, and sometimes that's one cool thing about people wearing branded logo, right? You can find out, oh, they're a Hawkeye fan, or they're a UNI fan, or what year, Holly, what years did you go to? Where are you at Iowa? And the next thing you know, you might be able to find that commonality. Where'd you live at, or where'd you like to go out to eat, or what bars did you go to? Have specific questions to ask. I've got a bunch of questions down below that I'm going to go through with you guys. These are some acronyms. I love the first one. I think a lot of you guys have heard me say this first one a lot. FORD. So ask about their family, their occupation, their recreation, their dreams. And that in itself, you can have a genuinely interesting conversation about, so Jen, tell me about your husband. How'd you meet? Or what do you do for work? What do you do for a living? Dreams, there's a lot of different ways you can break down dreams, right? You guys have any vacations planned this year? Or do you have any fun things that you're planning for the holidays? And if you can really get deep into that conversation, a big dream that a lot of people that we know have is real estate based, right? You're thinking about moving, or thinking about building, things like that. The next one, don't rape. So that is a good acronym to remember by religion.
Good rule of thumb.
Yeah. Religion, abortion, politics, economics, right? No, hey, this was not Mike Kelly, but this was actually one.
Say, no, this was not for
This was Mike. This is actually something that a female presenter told me. So I got this from a lady. So religion, right? How many people have gotten into a slippery slope talking about religion? You're Catholic and they're atheist. You're Muslim and they're Buddhist. Actually, Buddhists, if you get a conversation with a Buddhist, they're very pacifist, so you're not going to really offend them. But there's definitely times where I've witnessed a conversation about someone loves the Pope and the person they're talking about thinks the Pope is bad. And so be careful there, right? Politics. Has anyone gotten in a bad conversation about politics? And next thing you know, people are.
Did everybody go to Thanksgiving? Because that's all my family talks.
Yeah. Oh, and it's crazy too, because you could look at someone, you're like, oh, that person is definitely right wing, conservative, blah, 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 blah. And then next thing you know, they're not. They're the opposite. So I never assume anymore with politics. I've got friends that from childhood that are diehard liberal. And I got friends that, are in that same group and they're completely opposite. And they both like to go to do the same things. They go on hunting trips and fishing trips together every single year. So be careful about that. Abortion, that's probably a very small topic, but avoid it. And economics isn't as bad as the R and the P, but a lot of times that can kind of be boring to talk about unless you're talking with a economics guy. So I have been actually of the 4, I'm probably the most guilty talking about economics. find a way to help them based on something they're talking about. So if I'm talking to Tamara and I know that she might have a need or a want, or she's trying to find that perfect hair color for her granddaughter to dye her hair, that's a true story. So, say, I was just at such and such salon boutique and I found this really cool fuchsia that I think would look great on your granddaughter. I just completely made that up. But that's the thing that, what we're trying to do is provide value, be a connector, be a source, always be value add. Okay, step 5 is master your 30-second elevator pitch. Again, we only have one time to make a great first impression. And so a lot of times, when you have that opening to tell people what you do, and then the next thing you go from hero to zero because you're like, wah, wah, I didn't have anything good to say about what I do for a living. Practice it, role play it in front of your friend, in front of your parents, in front of your spouse. Again, you only have one chance to make a good impression. So when you're talking about real estate, talk about, how you can help people, what your value add is, what your unique selling proposition is. One thing too with the elevator pitch is a lot of times when it comes to real estate, people are always going to ask you, how's the market? I've talked about this a bunch in real estate classes. How's the market? And the number one answer is, it's great. Things are awesome. And that is just such a superficial, materialistic, high-level answer that isn't going to get you anywhere, right? If anything, it's all about, it just all kind of depends. It depends. Some of my clients, they're looking to buy. And right now it's actually a pretty hard time to buy because, lot prices are a little bit higher. Construction costs are a little bit higher. So a lot of my friends that are looking to move up into a bigger, newer home, it's kind of challenging right now. So one of the things that I'm really finding luck with is going directly to sellers and finding, listings that aren't on the market yet. I've got a lot of people in my network that I know they're wanting to sell in the next year or so. And so I've been able to connect them that way. Or I'm actually working with a builder and we've actually, in the process of taking down a lot of lots. So that's one of the ways that we've been able to help. And so have a good answer to that question versus market's great. Rates are awesome. Things are flying off the market. Oh, then why do I need Jen to help me sell if houses are flying off the market? You just kind of gave them a great opportunity to check out, for sale by owner options, right? Right now the market, it's really tough. There's over 4,000 homes in the market. Days of market are actually going up a little bit. And so what we're finding is, the marketing is very important, of course, but the condition of the home is also very important. And then more than ever, price. Before people were able to name a price and get it, based off of supply and demand. So have those type of answers and rebuttals to articulately, eloquently, maybe a better word, talk about those things, right? So that way that's going to differentiate yourself. If you're at a networking event and there's 3 agents and 2 out of 3 have the first answer and you have that third answer and they're in the market to buy or sell, I'm pretty sure I know which agent they're going to pick. Does anyone have a good elevator pitch that they like to share? Michelle, raise your hand a little bit. Or were you adjusting your glasses?
I'm adjusting my glasses.
Oh, I thought Michelle was going to lead by example. Okay, so this is something that I want you guys to write on your to-do list this week is your elevator pitch. Think about the opportunity that if you have 30 seconds to try to talk to somebody and have you be a memorable real estate agent, and it has an opportunity to net you a $6,000, $7,000 commission check. So Cindy's example, that 30-minute conversation, well, probably started as an elevator pitch maybe, or started as a genuine conversation turned into, 2 transactions, right? Is that what you said?
Well, and the big thing with those elevator pitches is you really have to talk about what your niche is in the market. Because just saying that you're a real estate agent and you can help people buy and sell houses in the entire state of Iowa, okay, so can how many thousand people across the state? What is your specialty, your niche? What makes you stand out is the only thing that'll make a difference.
Yeah, and tell them stories too. how you were a problem solver. What are the problems that your clients have? What are problems that are in the market? Because I will tell you that I have done this over my 13 plus years of real estate experience, and some of my best friends from college say, hey, this is my buddy Ooh. Remember how you were telling me earlier that you had your house on the market with the other agent and it couldn't sell? Ooh was just telling me how he did that same thing with another one of his sellers and was able to sell the house, even though the other, agent had it for 90 days. When you are specifically known for that niche, like Michelle is saying, or when you tell that person that problem that you help people solve, especially if it's a deep or a common problem that most buyers and or sellers are going to have, that's just more credibility, more validation that you're going to have for them, A, to either use you as an agent, or B, refer you as their agent. Confidence, that's the key thing there. Last impressions are important too. So you've done your elevator pitch, you've made that introduction, you've remembered their name. Eye contact. Have you guys ever talked to somebody that gave you zero eye contact?
Yes.
Kind of like makes me weirded out, like when someone doesn't want to look me in the eye, like, or is it me? Is it them? So we're in a business to have to build relationships, right? So eye contact. Have you ever been in a situation where you went to shake someone's hand? And it's just like, I'm okay, I wash my hands, I promise. And they're like this,
Oh, that's the
and
worst.
like this, and like this,
Yeah.
Give them a good handshake, look them in the eye, say, hey, Ashley, it's so great to meet you. Enjoyed our conversation. Hopefully we'll see you at the next event, right? What I do, eye contact, firm handshake, smile, and I said her name, right? You guys want to role play over there? Is that what you guys are talking about? We could do some role playing.
Wimpy handshakes. That's just like the worst.
Yeah. And this, I'm probably the one not to best ask for this, but there are some times, probably not like on the first meeting, but the second or the third, where not only is it a handshake, but it could be the bro hug, or it could be the this or that. So feel, mirror and match the other person. If they're talking fast, you can talk fast. If they're, using a lot of body language and hand gestures and things like that, mirror them. That's okay. If, they're saying something and you want to really show empathy, which is a great way to deepen interpersonal skills, you can just lean your head. Yeah, that makes sense, Tony. Sorry to hear that. Or you can say, oh yeah, that's awesome, Cameron. Cameron's more of the high five, let's, pump them up type of conversation. Toe touch.
It's been a few years, but yeah.
Not everyone knows Cameron Toe Touch, so you have to scroll through his Facebook feed, find some epic slow motion video work. That's number 5. Number 6 is the mayor campaign. I got this from Brian Berthini. Anyone heard of the mayor campaign before? Ashley, you have? Okay. And so what it is like pretend like you're running for mayor, right? And you want that person's vote. And you don't know though, are they going to vote for you as the mayor, or are they going to vote for Tony as the mayor? So what do you do if you're in a good conversation and maybe you're not sure if you want to be in a 30-minute conversation, because maybe let's flip the situation back to Cindy and she's talking with this person. There's 10 other people to talk to, right? But she's focused on the new guy that's a blind date, and she's having this 30-minute conversation. And then she's like, oh, you're an awesome agent, Cindy, or it's great to meet you, Cindy. I'm sure you're an awesome agent. I'll have to tell my sister. My sister's an agent at ABC XYZ Real Estate. Does that ever happen to anybody? Okay, so the mayor campaign is you're having a good conversation, and we're being genuine. We're wanting to get to know people, right? But you can, and then how you can do that too is you can kind of strategically ask them certain questions. So Cameron, where do you live? Oh, you live in Newark? Awesome. What neighborhood? How long have you lived there? Oh, cool. Did you buy? Are you renting right now? Oh yeah. Did you build? Oh, and those are. I'm not asking those questions as the real estate agent. I'm asking those questions as who wants to get to know Cameron.
Tony did a great job of this as we sent down.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the next thing you know, they're going to tell you, right? Cameron's like, yeah, I live in Norwalk, and yeah, we just bought a house. Well, if you only have so much time to be at this networking event and the room is filled with dozens of people and you want to strategically meet people, right? Am I going to continue talking to Cameron knowing that he just bought a house 3 months ago, or knowing that he's a realtor himself, or his best friend's a real estate agent, or this or that? So the mayor campaign is, also, I should say, adds to that and says, so I'm talking to Brandy, right? And Brandy, I'm having a great conversation with Brandy, and I kind of am feeling that she doesn't have an agent, right? So what I can say is, I know, Brandy, you told me that you and your husband Troy, you guys live in West Des Moines. You guys have been there for a while. So who was your agent when you guys bought? Oh, that agent's no longer in business anymore. Oh, sorry to hear that. So if you were to sell or buy, do you have an agent that, you'd want to use? Oh, ooh, not really. Oh, well, again, I'm not here to sell you or pitch you, but I'd love to, connect in the future. Is it okay if I give you my card? Oh, by the way, Brandy, I also have this great newsletter that I share every month. It's got tips about the real estate market. It's got home tips. It's got this, that, items of value, right? Whatever's in your newsletter, or you've heard like something that was really hot to the conversation that you're talking about, like they have a hot button. I could Brandon, I'd love to send you some information. Is it okay if we connect, on LinkedIn or on Facebook, or can I have your card? And next thing you know, I just created a relationship, right? That's fruitful because I asked questions about where they lived and how long they lived there. Did they buy? Are they renting? Again, remember, this is kind of a segue, but the average person stays in their house 5 to 7 years, right? The average person, if they're going to move up, will move up 1.5 times. And so that's kind of in my mind how I kind of can figure out, like, if this person's primed to be a candidate, whether it's in my sphere of influence or someone that I met at a networking event. Another thing to remember too, I think this has gone up since the last time I checked, but I know 60% of the market at one point was first-time home buyers. The millennial generation is the largest buying generation that we're ever going to see, bigger than the baby boomers. So it's millennials and Gen X and baby boomers, right? And so I was networking at a birthday party that I didn't want to go to, but my wife said, ooh, you know what? You should really go to this birthday party. It was for some of our good friends. I was just kind of being lazy. It was after the movie. And I went and I had this awesome conversation with a 28-year-old that I've known since he was 13. His name's Corey, and he has a great job. He was telling me all about his job. I'm like, oh yeah, Corey, so where do you still live with your mom? He's like, yeah, I do. I was like, yeah, guys, like, Corey, it's about time to buy, don't you think? Boom, right? And so I was like, Corey, I'd love to help you. Do you have any buddies that are real estate agents? If so, I don't want to step on their toes, but if not, I know I can help you, right? So that's the mayor campaign. Anyone excited to use that in the future? I bet you guys are going to crush it. Okay, so you do the mayor campaign, you've done your elevator speech, you've got to know that person, you've built a real strong connection, some sort of spark, some sort of chemistry. The worst thing that you do is you spend all this time and energy networking and building that relationship, and you never see them again. And you never follow up with them, even though you know their name, you got their email, you got their phone number, right? So follow up with a coffee or cocktail. Coffee's cheap, $5-6. You can go hang out with someone for 30, 45 minutes. Bring or share an item of value when you go, or give them an item of value. Tony, it's great to meet you. Just wanted to congratulate you on your new, on joining your new company and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, here's, magnifying glass, or here's a koozie, or whatever you hand out, whatever your item of trinket. Does anyone have any good things that they hand out or give out? Recipe cards, football magnets.
I've done football schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
So think about that too, from a branding standpoint. Always have something to give, right? And I'm not saying that you always need to give something expensive, but if you meet someone, maybe you give them a $5 gift card to your favorite coffee shop. Maybe you give them one of the coolest things I thought was cool. Sandy and Jerry Toonstra, as they were retiring, they were telling us all the inventory of things that they used to give out. And they used to give out these fly swatters with their name and their number and their logo on it. I was like, that's actually pretty cool. Because, if anything, like, to me, like, my connotation with the fly swatter is positive, right? Because there's that darn fly flying around the house, bugging the crap out of me. And I grab my Jerry and Sandy Toonstra fly swatter, bam. Or I grab where was I? I think I was in Brian York's office, and he gave me this little cup. So every time I think my kids used it the other day. My youngest son filled up milk in a Brian York little mug. I was like, that's awesome. Branding, right? So have something to share. as an item of value. If it's an article or a report, or hey, you know what? I actually was at Barnes and Noble and I saw this book. It was on sale, and Holly, you and I talked about, how to. I'm making this up too. I don't know how to stay in the newlywed zone even after your first year of marriage. Is that thoughtful though? Is that thoughtful? Right? Is that good or bad?
Rachel's true.
Don't wait. Don't wait.
That's not one of those. The one thing I'll tell you about Rachel, she's very cynical towards me. She's always picking on me. We go way back. Way back. Let's see. Sometimes you can just reach out randomly, right? You get the business card. Hopefully we have a system, right? I have a little, I don't know what you even call it, but it's kind of like a business card holder thing. It's got a lot of plastic sleeves. So every time I get a card, I just slide it in there. And sometimes it's on my desk and I'm like, I'm transitioning. So I go through it and I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't seen or talked to that person for a very long time. So just randomly follow up with them, get to know them deeper. Friend first, right? People, especially in real estate, they do business. Most times they're doing business with people that are friends, they're friends with, or they're referred from a friend, right? Invite them to that next event. So let's say you were brave and you did what Lou suggested and you went to a networking event where you knew no one in that room whatsoever, but you want to go back, but you met your new buddy Cameron. And so you say, hey, Cameron, are you going to the next event? I am, let's go. So just some good ways to stay in touch with them, and then ask them for business or ask them for referrals when it's comfortable. There's lots of great ways that we ask for referrals without really asking for referrals, right? Sometimes you put it in your email signature, or you put it on the back of your business card, or you do the client appreciation drawings that we've been recommending, or the referral reward drawings that we've been recommending. So does that kind of make sense? Anyone think I left anything out at all? Good stuff? Okay. All right. So let's say you've scoured Facebook and all the BNI groups that you want to join already have a real estate agent. You're just got nothing else to do, or you want to be the connector. You want to be the one that's really providing the value. So what you can do is build your own networking group. Anyone in this room ever done that or thought about doing that? Rachel, you want to share with the room your
Yeah, we
experience?
just didn't want to do the BNI. It was expensive and didn't want to, I don't know. I feel like realtors get filled up really quickly. So reached out to, it was an attorney, a marketer, chiropractor. We just had like a group and we just created our own, and we were very selective about it, like a BNI group. And actually ended up helping all of them buy houses. It was like a group of 8 or 9 of us.
That's awesome.
And we all did business over the years and
Yeah.
became friends,
Mm-hmm.
of course. But
Yeah, that's a cool thing about what Rachel, I've been able to see this firsthand. Rachel grow her business from day one, the day she got her real estate license. And that, I know you had LinkedIn social events before. I mean, just really great at networking and making new friends. Some of the best real estate agents, that's how they built their business is, I've met agents that were brand new to the Des Moines market. Not just them being brand new, but their spouse or their had no family here. And they went and just started networking and immediately made friends that they would follow up and have coffee or cocktail or dinner, or invite them over for dinner. So think about the ways that you can create your own networking event. And the thing is, you don't have to call it a networking event. Shane doesn't have to say, hey, come over to my house for dinner this Friday. It's a networking event. That doesn't sound all that fun to everybody on a Friday night, right? Hey, come over to my house. We're having game night, or we're having a potluck party, or watching the game, or we're, doing this or doing that. That sounds pretty fun, right? Back to what Rachel was saying about BNI groups. They do work, but a lot of them are full and they do cost money. And the ones that do become available, a lot of times you got to meet, the ones that are available, they're like, available for a certain reason. Like they meet, every Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. So you don't have to join a BNI group when you can start something similar, right? And what'd you say, an insurance agent, a financial advisor, a chiropractor, a dentist. I mean, there's all kinds of people that you can add. Think about those individuals that are trying to grow their business just like you are, that you can, provide value and share referrals and build relationships. Next thing you know, you've got a reciprocation of, 5 to 7 to 10 to 12 people that are just bouncing families' names and referrals and leads back and forth. Should be awesome.
Yeah, we like branded it and built a website for it. So we would throw money into the pot, and we would do sponsor events each month
Mhm.
with and had cards. So then we like all got like the webs. If people went to the website, they would have access to all of our information. So
Yeah,
that's how we did it.
Yeah.
And it worked out well for us.
that's awesome. Are you still doing that?
Mhm.
What happened?
Lots of children,
Oh, sure.
just kind of.
Yeah. But as your
Close.
group
All still
evolves,
good friends, we just don't meet regularly.
Yeah.
like we did.
as we evolve, right? I've been in real estate for 13, almost 14 years now. I definitely have changed in those 14 years. So as we evolve, we can definitely start maybe adding kids to those events. So it's not just, I think, was it Tony that you said you go to the YPC thing? As I evolved, and I'm sure a lot of my YPC friends have also gotten older too, right? And so maybe none of us feel comfortable going to the YPC. So maybe we call it the OPC, the Old Professional Connection, So think about ways you can do that. Other ideas is creating a mastermind or accountability group with outside business owners, sales professionals. Ask them how you can help them on what they're trying to achieve. If they're a brand new restaurant or a brand new chiropractor or a brand new whatever, ask them, what's the best way, Cameron, I can help you, be successful in your business, especially on this, during the holiday season, if they're, just opening up a little boutique, right? Handwritten notes are a great way to not just follow up, but build your own network. Turn your client appreciation parties as a networking event for your other business friends. Has anyone ever done that? This is a great idea. I've seen a few of our agents do this, and they've done it very, very successful. I'll even mention a name, Amber Solomon. I don't know if you guys follow her on social media and see what she's done, but what she did is she hosted a client appreciation event and asked her friends that did Sensi and I don't even know all the Pampered Chef, and just if she had a friend that was a small business owner, she asked them if they would want to participate in the events. And you don't even really need them to participate financially, but if they could, that'd be awesome, right? But to do a client appreciation event that has that theme, sponsoring each other as business owners, I think that's pretty awesome. And the location that she did it at was at a coffee shop that she knew the owner. So think about how she and or you can connect all the people that into one event. And then the cool thing too is, if I do this, if all of us were in different industries and we threw this networking event together, which may be more than what you need, maybe 5 or 6 are good, right? But then all of a sudden they're inviting other people, and hopefully a lot of their people can come, but maybe it's only 5 or 10% of their network. Still, it's branding, right? They're gonna see your name, they're gonna see your logo. It's opportunities for introductions to their friends that they're coming. That's a cool thing. I've thrown client appreciation parties in the past where not that many people came. I still had a good attendance, I still had a full house, but just think if I would have invited some of the, other professionals that are in the real estate industry or other business owners, and my 20 people would have came plus their 20 people would have came. Next thing you know, it would have been the best networking party that anyone's ever been to. Other group ideas, a mentor group, so if you've got a group of people that are mentors or mentees, get those individuals together. A book club, especially a real estate related book club. I don't know if you guys have read Rich Dad Poor Dad or all the Millionaire Next Door or all the different investment books out there. Why not, start in, a book club or a real estate investor club? We talked about this earlier, a mom club, a dad club. Anyone in a golf league? Did someone say that earlier?
I used to be,
Yeah.
but now I moved out.
Yeah.
One thing I think one needs to have is couples leagues. And
Yeah.
there is a.
I'm pretty sure there are a couple leagues somewhere. I think Legacy has them. I think I've been invited to either Beaver Creek or Legacy. Anyone know about couple leagues? But a great way to start one, right?
Yeah.
Invite friends, invite their friends. Some of our agents are in like racquetball leagues. I told you guys about Tony. He's in a beer brewing club. But just think about all the different things, the YPN, which Tony's involved in one, entrepreneurial groups. Some of our agents, I know Nora, I can't remember the name of the group, but it's like a group of business owners that they're women and they're focused on tech. And so that's a really good.
Fem City.
Yeah, Fem City, thank you. Yep. And I know she's done, some deals there too. So think about, do people still do tweet ups? Okay, this was a thing that I know that some of our agents, I should follow up with them. But
Oh, I'm not good at that.
it was Susanna. We'll have to ask Susanna if she still goes to them. But it was like just a bunch of people on Twitter that they've never met each other before, but they did a tweet up. They tweeted each other. I don't know what that. I don't know. But anyways, so think about building your own group. We talked about the elevator pitch. Make sure it's unique. If you're not unique, you're weak. I got this from Tom Ferry. He said, what if you had $5 million to spend on a Super Bowl ad for 30 seconds? What would you say? What's your unique selling proposition? We talked about solving people's problems, amplify the problems with quick examples. When you're talking about people are always going to say, what's in it for me? So what you can do is offer solutions and facts about yourself, about your office too. If you're a newer agent and see, Tony, if you're a newer agent and you don't have, the solutions yet, guess what? Everyone in the company has or does, or our company specializes in this or that, has these types of listings, are always bringing on these type of new properties, has these types of buyers. Also having a call to action, Randy, I know you had this specific need, but go check out my website, or can I shoot you an email? Can we set up an appointment? Most persuasive words to use is you, meaning the other person. Save you money, save you time, save you stress. Put that also in your buyer's presentation. That's a side note too. We run out of time, Michelle? Okay, so the cool thing about this next few sections are you can read these on your own. So best ways to build rapport. This was a video I watched with Tony Robbins. It's actually a really great video, and these are my notes from it. Good networking questions. So if you need some questions to ask while you're networking, this is a great list to go off of. Social media networking. So I know a lot of you guys are doing a great job.
What's those numbers stand for? The 60,
Yep.
40, what is that?
Yep, that bullet right below, Cindy, 60 minutes. So spend 60 minutes on social media every day. I know people think they're wasting time on social media, so we need to flip the mindset there. So that's 60 minutes that you're investing, 45 reactions. So, and what that means is like, love, haha, those little icons, comments. So try to do 15 comments. Heather Wright gave a great suggestion to me earlier this year. Comments to make them genuine. Try to have at least, I think she said 4. I say 3 to 4 is, 3 to 4 words. Happy birthday, Rachel. I hope it was a great one instead of just happy birthday. Okay. Messages, those are direct messages. So 5 direct messages per day, especially as you're, I have created groups in my Facebook friends. I don't know if you guys have done that. I know I've suggested that a few times, but that's a great way to strategically pinpoint who you should be focused on in that 60 minutes. And then the one is post per day. So we need to post at least once per day. We're in the social media marketing business. And that one post, what I would recommend is 80-20, 80% of what you post, do personally, 1% professionally. And then tag, share, and support other people, especially if you just met them at a networking event. I love it when I see you guys tagging your friends. And the next thing you know, your friends are involved in that conversation. I don't know if you guys are all friends with Danielle Seifert, but she had a post about looking for paid interns. Her and I have been talking about this for a week. Next thing you know, people are tagging, and she's tagging and tagging. And next thing you know, like this one post, I just looked at it last night and looked at it this morning, but man, she had like 17 comments or something like that on this one post. And a lot of it's because she's tagging people and they're tagging other people. And so just think about how you can use the social network
Good one
to network.
tomorrow, since it's Giving Tuesday, is to tag a local organization or charity that you're with and share that, because they'll be fundraising.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's always a easy one to do.
I love that one. I think this was kind of what Rachel was talking about, network through a preferred vendor builder list. Does anyone have a preferred vendor builder or a preferred vendor professional list? Yeah.
Put it on my website.
Put it on your website.
I mean, mine's through the HBA.
Yours through the HBA. So if you haven't done this yet, this is worth its weight in gold. We all know electricians, handymen, plumbers, roofers, siders, right? But how many times on Facebook or even on Central Iowa or our First Know, who knows a survey or who knows a good moving company or who knows this or that? Why not be that source of information, right? Providing value, but take it to that next level and say, hey, Bobby, I know you've been doing a lot of roofing. Would it be okay if I put you on my preferred vendor list? What's Bobby gonna say? He say, absolutely, thank you. I'd love to be on your list too. And then what also is Bobby gonna do? He's gonna probably reciprocate, right? So you're helping his business, he's gonna help your business. So I would totally recommend creating a list of all the different vendors and think big. Just don't think about real estate related. If you know someone that does custom artwork or, tailors, people like that, build that list. There's no shame in having a super big list of lots of people and if anything, all of a sudden that's the reason why people are referring potential buyers and sellers to you, because you guys know everybody, right? So I got a few bullet points of who you can add to that preferred vendor and builder list. I also have some suggested articles, which I can actually, Michelle, maybe what we could do is do a follow-up to this and post on First to Know these links. So these are really good links to icebreaker questions, best ways to meet new people in a new city, icebreaker conversations, also some suggested books that I would highly recommend. Has anyone read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie? Great book, right? Randy, I think Holly and Randy have read it. Awesome book. I'll give you guys a personal hack that I do. I am like Mr. Audiobook. And so if I can't fall asleep, or like every night if Joy's watching a show and I'm not like big into the show she's watching, like she's been into this Temptation Island or Jane the Virgin or The Bachelor in Paradise. Like, don't get me wrong, she loves these shows. I'm not one to judge, but I'm not going to spend my focus on those. So I'll sit next to her, lay next to her in bed, and I'll have my earbuds in, and I'll listen to books, or I'll listen to videos or podcasts or whatever. So do that, and I can get through a ton of books a month just by doing that. So